welcome to the Sweaty and the Farmer and the Game Design, where we have Milkshake from the Milky Way. What else do you want? What else do you expect this going? This is episode number 60. We all have our demons. I am the lone name gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us on this episode. This week we find the fall in our stars.
Isn't that a book?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't that a book about a very, very, very sad teenage girl that has cancer and falls in love and drama ensues?
Yeah, I
they
think
make
so.
a movie about it?
They made a really
Yeah.
not famous, but they were really
What? Successful? Good?
successful.
Yeah.
Successful movie. And Hank Green, whose author, became a superstar.
Correct. Because drama and tragedy sells, I guess. Yeah.
I guess it's that and like teenage love and all
Teenage
that stuff.
love. Yeah. Like teenage love on top of more tragedy and drama escalates. Anyways, so we go with our final installment of the review of World of Warcraft, where we criticize and try to make this game a little bit better, if it's possible.
We find the faults
Yes.
in our stars.
Stop it! You are actually going to give me cancer.
What? It's a good
Oh my god.
It's a really good book.
But before that, we will tell you a little disclaimer as is usual, that every opinion here, especially these heavily opinionated episodes, is colored by our opinions and our own in-game experience. Everything that we do, we don't do, everything that we play at the game, we had bad or good experience in the game, everything that we have seen and personal experience is what colors these sort of episode discussions here on the podcast. So you are being warned that we can say dumb things, and if you don't agree with us, there's always a comment section, email, Twitter, and Twitch channel where you can contact us and express your own opinion about our opinion. Everything will be heard because opinions are meaningless and we like to discuss about it. And we find, as a species, I don't know where it is going, I'm gonna stop. I think I was going someplace, but no. So that's our disclaimer. So we are gonna begin our difficult job of making this game a better game. I was thinking about it last night. I was like, I don't know what else do I want to put besides what you already put in there. Maybe I will think about something else, but you're pretty much on the point of the grievances that I have with the game. But yeah. So, World of Warcraft is wasting years of storytelling.
It is. and I mean, it is, and it's something that we have experienced.
Yeah.
And something that we have. I mean, that it is clearly something to be critical about.
Correct, yeah.
And I remember, like, one of the first time that we were playing together, when you were playing your first character.
Yeah.
That we're learning up. We were completing the stories in one of the vanilla zones, and the whole storyline was leading to like fighting a dragon in a hill.
Yes. I remember this. Yes.
And it was like you were super excited because it was a very epic moment, and it was all like the dramatic build up was very good.
Yeah.
To reach that point. So and there are a lot of there is a lot of that across
the whole game.
All the stories in the game.
Yeah.
Like not only in vanilla zones, but like across all the different expansions. All of those have had their highs and lows, and they're building up to stuff. And a lot of those, if you haven't been playing the game for 15 years on a very regular basis, a lot of those are going to be lost for you.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because it's a lot of work that the developers and the people writing down the stories put on. That is kind of getting. It's not like it's
lost because it's still there. Yeah.
Because it's there, but it's lost to the experience of players.
Correct. Yeah. Because I remember that when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and then suddenly we're like, oh yeah, we upgrade this. We should move to something else if you want to level up. Something like that. We have to change zones or something like that, because there was no point of going.
That was an effect. Yeah. That was an effect of that of the old leveling up system.
Yeah.
But that's still true nowadays with the whole crummy time.
Yes.
Because just to clear what crummy time is, whenever you level up your character from 1 to 10, when you reach level 10, you're gonna level up from 10 to 50 in a set expansion of the game. Either the vanilla game, Burning Crusade, Rat, anything. Like just choose an expansion and you level up through that story for the next 40 levels till 50.
Correct.
And the idea is that way you're gonna experience
the expansion thing. Yeah, that's the promise.
The core of the expansion, or the core of the story of that expansion. During that leveling process.
Correct.
But that still leaves out a bunch of stories, like and a bunch of like meaningful story pieces from in the game.
And the funny part is like you take that option, and if you go and pursue like a side quest, something that you remain interested in, it could happen that you reach the level without even like finish to see what that expansion was all about. That was the other thing.
It could be that I cannot attest for, because I haven't leveled
up. Yeah, we haven't leveled up on the new system. We don't know if it's faster, slower, or if you get to see stuff. It's
apparently faster, but also it can be done super fast, like if you really optimize for it.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it myself at a regular pace to see how fast the leveling up is and how well directed the experience is through the main campaign of that, or the main story of said expansion.
Yep.
So in that regard, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It is, even though it's a move on the right direction, because it is a less fragmented experience.
Yeah.
It is still leaving out a good chunk of story out there for people to never experience, for the most part, I'm guessing.
The old stories, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I really don't know how often people go back to old content and just play it for the stories, because there are some really, really good stories out there.
Correct. And I remember when they were doing the level up revamp, that we were discussing about the Tali as an idea about streamline some of the principal stories of these old expansions, right? With the new shield system, like he was saying, like it's better if you compress, like if you make sure that the player can live up the main story, like making sure that the player can live up the main story of the expansion, they choose to level up from 10 to 40. And by the end of it, you are level 40. That will give you a better expansion. And that will give you a better experience. And if these experiences are in all the expansions, that will encourage people to do what I wanted to do when I first picked up the game. That is what Final Fantasy VII does to you. Sorry, Final Fantasy XIV does to you, which is you are going to experience all the story of the game, right? And
right.
That you start growing attached to it, right? But I wanted to experience it. I wanted the option of like, yeah, I would like to experience one of the stories of the game, and then start a new thing, and when I have time, and when the new thing, because is the nature of World of Warcraft, you have highs and lows of what content you're doing because of the length of the expansion, right? There is always something to do, but you have points when you have a lot of things to do, and then points when you have a few things to do. So, and my hope was like, when I reach that point when I have few things to do, that I'm doing what I want, and probably ready and doing M+, and that's it, because I've experienced all the rest things of the expansion side quests and that sort of stuff. I will go back and leave one of the old stories, and so at the end I could like actually be playing through all the World of Warcraft story, right? That's what I really liked about that idea, right? The other extreme is 14, where they actually make you live through all the stories, which creates a deep connection with you, with the world and the characters. But the problem with that is that for you to go to the last content of the game, is going to take a long time for you. And if you want to just go to the end of the thing and experience that with your friends that have been playing 14 for a long time, it's going to be more difficult, because you are forced to leave the main story of the game for forever, right? So it has its downsides, but it's good for 14 for the idea of the game. But for World of Warcraft, what they are selling you is the last things, the last expansion, the last zones. It's not that a good idea that they will become that forced storytelling method.
No, the 14 approach wouldn't work.
Yeah, correct. That's my point. It wouldn't work.
That's not why people play with a Warcraft.
Correct. So, but it's not a bad idea to, in some shape or form, give that option to your players, so you don't waste all those years of lore. And...
No. But I mean, to be clear, you can do it. Like, you can go back and play all the quests that you have not played.
Yes,
they don't disappear. Like,
yeah, they don't. Like, the thing is there. That is true. The thing is there. But
they're not going anywhere. You can go right now. Go pick an expansion that you haven't played all the stories through. You can go and play them.
Yes.
Nothing is stopping you from doing that.
All right, but
that's not in defense of the game, because that's not what I'm criticizing. It's not that it's not there, because what you're saying is,
so see, yeah, we're criticizing the way that is presented, offer.
Yeah, like,
yes.
What I'm criticizing is that it's basically that is not. There is no good reason to do it.
Yeah.
As like you have to be completely self-motivated to do it.
Correct.
And completely on your own.
Yeah.
But you can do it. Like you made it sound like you cannot do it. Like,
yeah.
No.
You can do it. The content is there.
that is missharing. That's not what the game is. Like, all the content is there. You can step out of what you're doing right now. Go play whatever piece of content the game has, because it has all the things.
Yeah, but maybe the feeling is like the way that it's presented, it doesn't encourage me to go and do it.
Oh, it definitely doesn't encourage you. But that's
the thing.
That is on purpose, because, as we have mentioned before, WoW or current WoW is a very busy game, and like right now there are a lot of things that the game expects you to on a daily and on a weekly basis. So the aim content of the game, quote unquote, it's very easy. There are a lot of stuff that you have to take care of.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's not gonna encourage you to go and enjoy the old stuff.
Yeah.
I see why. I see, because definitely by design it would.
Yeah, they want you in the last expansion all the time. Basically,
they want you the last expansion, doing the most recent content, enjoying that, consuming that. That still lives. I at some point I do even believe that there should be like at least, for example, a place where you could watch some of the old like in-game cinematics.
It will be super cool if you go to like a kind of a theater of time and watch like all in-game cinematics and somebody narrated the connection tissue between them, right? Like, because the majority
or even just have them there.
Yeah.
Even if it is just as breadcrumbs for people to follow. and like a little teasing to say, okay, look at this cinematic, it was cool, what happened? And then people may get interested and go back and play it.
Yeah, correct.
But there's nothing. Like if you ask yourself, there are all these, like for example, this very iconic cinematic of in Wrath of the Lich King on the doors and the betrayal of Sylvanas and the plague which is iconic. It's a very iconic cinematic from Wrath of the Lich.
Yeah.
If you never play, like if you come now and you don't decide to roll through Wrath of the Lich King, you're gonna miss that.
Yes, correct. Yeah, unless you go into a lore channel, something like that. Like, but directly into the game, nothing.
But it's there. But
it's there.
Is there.
It's there. It is there.
So it'll be useful. Like if you're, this is time for those who like care about the lore, but they don't care enough or don't have the time to go back and play the pieces of lore, of story. To have like a central place where you could watch some of those and like enjoy your time.
That's why I really like the Taliesin idea, when you just like construct this leveling.
The problem is that the Taliesin idea doesn't address that for all. Like that means that you'll have to level through a lot of characters or
because his idea was based on like you as a WoW player eventually will want to play more than one character. So you will level up multiple characters at some point, and in that process of leveling up multiple characters, at some point you will experience each piece of expansion. That was his idea, right? Technically speaking, like that's what he was coming from when he built the idea of like channeling this path through the expansion to get you to.
I know,
to the level.
but his idea was more in the sense that he wanted the crummy leveling to feel complete.
Yes,
more than really being a way of delivering the lore of the whole game.
Yes, he was. Yeah, you're right.
Those are two. Like he was addressing a different problem, which I don't know if it is still a problem nowadays.
Yeah.
As I said before, I haven't played to crummy leveling.
Yeah.
And basically, his complaint was that it was feeling
disconnected.
It was still feeling incomplete.
Yeah.
Like even if you level up through one expansion, you're left without experiencing core things of the expansion.
Correct. Yes.
Basically, he was saying, okay, we should do this to have that like as a more complete experience, at least.
At the promise of crummy level up, you can level up in any expansion. It will be actually. Like experiencing the whole thing of the expansion will actually be true.
I'm not sure if they ever promised that.
True. That's the sensation that you get with crummy.
Yeah, but that's probably not what they're
probably not. But that's the sensation that you get. That's the feeling that you get.
People were expecting. I'm pretty sure that's not exactly what they're promising.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
But yeah, no, I agree with I agree with Taliesin's and Arital's suggestion to solve that specific problem.
Yeah.
But here I'm talking about something a little bit different. Because also I'm taking in mind that a lot of players don't level up out.
Correct.
And a lot of players just level them up to level them up, not to experience the stuff.
Correct.
Like it is more of okay, I need more characters to have an endgame.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it as fast as possible.
And they just put like Azeroth auto padding?
Yeah, that's one option. There are even guides to how to
level up quick. Yeah.
So it is like a lot of players level up out not for the story, just because they want to experience the new stuff in a different character.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine. So I don't know. It is definitely a shortcoming of the story, because there are a lot of interesting stories out there that people never experience.
What it will be a good way to encourage, like it could be like what it will be a good way to encourage players to go and experience those expansions. Like one idea was that you have a theater of we can throw several ideas. That you have a theater of the expansion when they kind of tell you how the story is.
I like that like as a teasing.
Yeah, or it is a teasing, and then they tell you to just go and experience the expansion. Yeah. So what will be the path that you will take for this if you want to encourage?
I'll definitely have that just to kind of like I'll have all the cinematics in one place, so just so that people can watch them.
Yeah.
And I will hope that teases enough people to just go out and see the context of that cinematic and why it was important. The other thing is, it just cosmetics are a thing that drive a lot of people.
Yeah.
For example, Legion had a lot of cosmetics behind the Order Hall campaign, for example.
All right. Yeah.
And the Order Hall campaign, for the most part, is like a lore campaign. It's telling you a story of the lore, of the Order campaign, or the Order campaign hall, the Order thingy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your class, that's the name. It was telling you a story of your class hall, and like the heroes and the stuff. And there are some cosmetics that are locked behind completing those stories. And I have actually gone back to play some of the Legion quest lines just to unlock some of the cosmetics because I think those are cool.
Nice.
Or cool looking. And you like, since it is all content, you can pretty much one shot everything. You can solo the dungeon.
I don't know right now because I've heard that the scaling is a little wonky.
You can still solo dungeons.
Right,
you can solo mythic dungeons.
Oh, fair enough.
You cannot do like the rates are a little bit different, but it was a bug. Like they just said, yeah, Legion should be fine. So that's in my head. That'll be the main motivation. I don't know if they can go back and like retroactively put like nice pieces of cosmetics behind quest lines.
Yeah, behind mainly main quest lines. That would be interesting.
Whatever they consider, I don't know if the main ones, but whatever they consider are the stories worth telling from that experience.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Because you can argue that the Order Hall campaign was not a main quest line for Legion.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right.
But but it was definitely one of the like core storytelling devices that they use in the experience.
Yeah.
And it had interesting story.
Yes.
So maybe retrofitting cosmetics that people are actually looking to get
in those.
But that seems like a lot of work. I don't know how complicated it is to put like new rewards or like on all.
Yeah, everything. Quests. Yeah, everything is. It means like a lot of work to go through all that.
Yeah, that's probably what I think. The least amount of work is like give me like a library of cinematics.
Yeah.
Because the cinematics are in game.
Yes. Yes, I think the least amount of work is that. It's just like make a theater, a chromie theater when you get the cinematic with a little bit of connective narrative tissue, and they would just present it to you. And that would
probably the least amount of work.
Yep.
But I don't know.
You just need a narrator so and then pull the cinematics in a place, and that's it. That's all you need.
No.
And that will be the less amount of work. A narrator in a place and put the cinematic in front of people.
That could help, but I don't know. It is a really hard problem. There is so much content, so much left in the past.
I like the idea. I think that would be our sensible solution. A theater of chromie theater when you can go and watch the narratives with the little storytelling connective tissue, with just screenshots between the parts of the story that don't have any big cinematics or anything like that, and that's it. And that will be the easiest, the best way to present the big WoW lore to new players and get them excited about the actual complete lore of the game.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a cool idea. I like it. I like the idea. And yeah, and that way people will get teased. People will be interested to go back and check some of that content if they like the story of the story that the actual expansion is telling you is selling you. Right? It'll be interesting. Yep. Like, what will be like? What is the story of Vanilla? It's about the kidnapping of what was it? You were telling me last time. It was about the awakening of the lava dude in the raid, and then the kidnapping of the dragon thingy. How is it?
Yeah, the kidnapping of Barry and how he got split by the Black Dragon, and then that somehow related to awakening of Ragnaros.
Of Ragnaros, thank you. Yeah, and that's the story of Vanilla, and then we have like Burning Legion, which is the story of the Blood Elves and the Sunwell. Right?
Yep.
And then Draenor. That's Burning Legion, right?
Burning Crusade.
The Burning Crusade, yeah.
Yeah, it's about going to all Draenor. We get to know where like some of all like there were these Khadgar and some other people were stuck in there after they closed the portal that the orcs used to invade, and then we get to know what happened to like Illidan took in charge of like a temple of one of the local people.
Yeah.
There was a whole conflict about Illidan like overstating, like out-using his power and like doing crazy stuff in there. And it is about fighting off the invading legion there, and at the same time dealing with Illidan craziness, corrupting and draining out the planet.
Correct. Yeah. Super cool, and
yep.
And very difficult to get there. And like all Draenor has some cool visuals and cool places and stuff like
all that. All Draenor has some really cool looking place.
Yeah. And there you go. And that's the game doesn't tease you about it, right? Doesn't give you the opportunity of that offerings, and that story is in there and that sort of stuff. I had no idea when I started playing. Well, like the reasons that I find out is because I went and look at lore videos and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But the game itself, it doesn't help you with that. And it should. Yeah. Because it's a lot of content that is there. Maybe it's wasted in that sense, right?
Yeah, there is a lot of content left out that shouldn't.
And it's a shame. It's a shame. Like, Warcraft has amazing narratives in those expansions and cool moments and that sort of stuff. Yes, please do better, Blizzard. Go and do a theater of Chromie or something like that. Listen to us. We are thinking about your budget too. It's easy and cheap compared to other things. Of course, it's easier cheap to do nothing, but hey. So, the next point. Is it good to be bolting so much content every few years?
And this kind of falls a little bit into the same vein of there is so much cool gear out there. And if you go out and look at like old raids, you see like the all sets and all gear sets and all set bonuses and all legendaries. And some of those are really like they not only look nice, but they have like nice ideas of bonuses and stuff.
Yeah.
That sometimes you feel like it's a shame that we have nothing like that anymore in current WoW.
So, is it a interesting part to have like everlasting gear in some shape, way, or form, or something like that?
The problem is that I don't think it would work from a mechanical point of view.
Correct.
It's just that's the reason why it exists. Like you cannot keep a game of the size of WoW balanced with like everlasting content.
So maybe it will be like a reprint situation in terms of
What do you mean?
Magic the Gathering, because what happens in Magic the Gathering is like a lot of old cards and stuff are they coming back in forms of reprint. So they make it new, but they don't make it new. They just print the same thing, but in the context of the new expansion.
The problem with that is that the type of gear that people miss the most, or that are most talked about in this kind of context, are all red gear.
Yeah.
And a lot of the like set bonuses and those stuff would be either broken for current content, or they have things that wouldn't apply anymore. Like,
No,
like
but you can.
a lot of the vanilla gear has fire resistant. Things like that, which are not a thing in the game anymore.
I know. No. What? And that happens in Magic too. What they do is they errata the card and they adjust it to actually current balance of the game, but it's still a reprint.
It could work. The problem is that it will dilute, and it will dilute the new gear pool.
Yeah.
And it will make it feel less new now.
Let's see. What the solution is in that. In that same train of thought, the solution, like, I know what you mean. And it happens with the reprints, because the reprints are important every time they come around in Magic. But the way that they balance that, at least in Magic, is that they print a new thing. Like they make sure that the new things that are coming are equal, if not better in power, to what they're reprinting. So what they do is that they give you an old toy that you want, that is powerful, but in the same environment they give you new toys that are equal as powerful as that old toy in the context of this, right? So for Magic works because they have a rotating set of mechanics in the game, of thematics that rotates, and what changes is the lore surrounding it. So I wonder if for example, World of Warcraft can get to that point. And the example that I was thinking was Draenor, like Burning Crusade with Legion, right? Those two had the same enemies, quote unquote, and the same thematic, which was fighting the Burning Legion. And there is the opportunity to bring all things from Draenor, from that expansion, overhaul them, and give them back to the player, right? And that will be the way to conserve those old things that are being molded, to revamp it and reprint it in some shape or form, if the thematic is close enough between expansions, or if you recall a thematic of an old expansion. So, for example, in this expansion, we're talking about death and stuff. We should be able to bring items from the Wrath of the Lich King, which is the closest in thematic, and reprint it, quote unquote, onto Shadowlands.
I mean, they kind of did that, like on the pre-patch event.
Yeah.
The rares that you were killing were dropping items that look like rat.
Yeah. But I mean,
items that
inside the whole, inside the whole expansion, like that'll be the idea. I
don't think most of the thematic will fit into many of the zones of Shadowlands. Like I don't see any of that fitting in Ardenwold, for example.
Yes. Yeah.
Or Bastion, maybe Malpraxis.
Yeah.
So
but the opportunity is there.
Like you could make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could try that out, but then you have to be really careful with things that you're choosing.
Of course. Yeah, to revamp and bring back. Yes.
No, but like just to do it like with relevant things, not every piece of gear, but like they have. It becomes this. investigative job of looking what people really talk about for that expansion.
Yep. Yeah, and like it doesn't come free.
It could be too much work for them. I don't know.
That's something else different.
Yeah. I mean, it is something that sadly needs to be taken
into account. Yeah.
Into account, in consideration. But yeah, I like that.
That's the way that Magic. Like, it's funny that we're drawing all this. That I can draw all this comparison with Magic, but yeah.
I like it. I'm like, me personally, I'm really happy with the fact that all the old year gives you like new transmogs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's more than enough for me. But I know that people chat from time to time about.
Yeah, of course.
Old items.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I that will be my solution to that thing in particular. So people like.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and reprints are super popular, especially Magic. They're super popular. Super popular. People get excited with an old card that was meaningful and powerful in past expansions come back.
Yeah, that could work. I can see it working. I can see it taking a lot of effort, but it could.
Yep.
I like it.
Nothing is for free.
Nothing is for free, but this is probably also one of those things that I'm pretty sure Blizzard want to spend a ton of resources into.
Yeah, of course. But it will be an interesting idea for them to have when they are actually like building the fundamentals of the expansion, to have in mind that they want to bring back some of the old gear that is thematically according to the expansion. So you can be like waving into the actual build of the expansion.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So what kind of social perceptions do we change from World of Warcraft players?
I mean,
yeah.
Like World of Warcraft, since it established itself as the big MMO that all nerdy kids play, and I'm thinking about like the social perception that the World of Warcraft players have is that South Park, a fat guy.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That's for the most part the social perception.
Yeah.
That's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
Like especially now when like for the most part the
people who plays are like professionals and moms and normal people
like
and
older people.
Yeah.
Like, not all people, but like are just work now.
Yeah, mature adults like
moms. And,
yeah, people with families.
Most of like a lot of our guildies are just parents.
Yeah, just families, professional dudes. Yeah.
That's definitely not like that, that's what I was thinking. Like that's like that South Park doesn't reflect really like
what it is. Yeah.
Like what the player base is not like we're not as Mongol.
No. Even if he's technically the face of WoW players because he's the biggest streamer and most proficient. Yeah.
he is and is that plus the whole it's plus the whole South Park thing that that's the face of the game out there.
You want to change that? You need to do another South Park episode where you normalize the gaming. Even if South Park is not as popular as it was back then. That's the other problem.
Fair enough. But even with that, like the meme of the fat guy playing video games is widespread. Like everyone knows that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do we go about in changing that perception? I don't know. I will show you like World of Warcraft content created beyond Asmongold, right? And the OTC, because all the Asmongold and OTC content created pretty cliche.
They all fall into that same mold.
Yeah, they're pretty cliche, and they're selling that. That's what they sell. Like nothing against them. Like nothing against them. That's what they sell and works for them.
That's the selling point.
Yeah, and works for them. That's what the audience wants. But I will probably I don't know. I show you people like Hassel, or Taliesin and Evita, or people like that. Yeah, cool.
Negura.
Yeah, cool nerdy guys. Normal parents.
Yeah, just normal as people.
Yeah. Which love the game and love the gathering up and beating monsters.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
Do we need to do a campaign, Lucho? Do we need to do like a proper PR campaign to fix this problem?
I don't know if but I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that keeps
people from playing the game.
Absolutely, away from the game.
100%. And I will agree with you. Absolutely, keep a bunch of people from actually
playing the game and see what the game is all about.
Yes, correct. They just they think that it's gonna be awful, that they're gonna become one of these fat antisocial dudes that is gonna consume the entire life, and it's gonna be terrible for the social standing or whatever else they imagine in this social cliche. I agree with you. I have a bunch of friends which I like after even me at points was like, nah, it's World of Warcraft's too nerdy. It's gonna consume my life, or all these selling cliches, and that was keeping me from testing the game, right?
And it is a good game.
Yeah, and it's an excellent game. It's an amazing game. I spent hours and hours on it. And I'm still normal. Well, I'm not normal, but I'm still me. Like it didn't change me in any if anything else, it made me a more virtual social dude.
Yeah. It definitely does. But it's one of those funny things that not a lot of games have that kind of problem, that they have an image like on the general public.
Yeah, correct. And no, it happened the same with pen and paper games. Yeah, and now thanks to Critical Role and all the work that they have done, they're like removing that cliche from the eyes of the general public. Slowly but surely, you have more people interested in role playing than before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing that is needed to change that parameter. But I don't know how to do it. That's what I was asking you. In our imaginary fixing, do we need to do a big PR campaign normalizing WoW players?
Adopt a WoW player.
Adopt a WoW player. Or what it will require to change that zeitgeist of the game?
I don't know. I feel like it's so ingrained in popular culture what a WoW player is.
We are doing small steps with popular actors like Vin Diesel and Henry Cavill that openly play World of Warcraft and love the game and are nerdy and build their own computers and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah,
we'll slowly get in there, but World of Warcraft is always have that cliche attached. It's hard for them.
World of Warcraft is kind of seen as the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
The deepest end of geek culture.
Like you play World of Warcraft, you have no life. You're a game. You live in a basement.
On a dirty basement.
On a what?
On a dirty
basement.
On a dirty
basement on your mom's house.
Soda cans and McDonald's wrappings.
And that's been Asmongold's selling point for a decade now.
Yeah. That's still the image.
Yeah. And still, he hasn't changed. Like, there was like pictures. It's ridiculous because there was pictures of them in like 2004, and he'd be using the same shirts, and he'd be using the same chair from there. Oh my God. So yeah, how did you remove such a heavy cliche perpetuated by media as shows in Sword
I don't know.
How do you go about that, huh? You need you need an equal, like, strong force to move that. You need a big PR campaign, maybe promotion more of these cool content.
The problem is that it cannot come from
Blizzard itself. Yeah, I know.
It won't work.
Yeah,
it has to be someone cool, like a superstar coming out and saying,
I play World of Warcraft and my friends play World of Warcraft, and something like
some shit like that.
Something like Critical Role, when they come out and like, yeah, we're very famous voice actors, people recognize in various industries, and we play Dungeons and Dragons, and we bring actual actors because they have bring like actual popular actors on the set, Joey Manganiello, Vin Diesel, and that sort of stuff, and the promos of D&D, and actually participate in the hobby, something like that. That's why that perception of role playing and Dungeons and Dragons got his cliche partially like removed in the eye of the general populace. That was the thing, right? That was the thing. So it has to come from because again, Critical Role was a community driven initiative. It was something built in the love of the game, not done directly by Wizards of the Coast, right?
Yeah.
That's what it has to happen, I think, at the end of the day. We have to have a bunch of movie stars or something like that playing World of Warcraft, and has like a popular guild with a show or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Right? You will have to be like, imagine it. It will have to be like a collection of movie stars and relatively famous people playing in a guild.
It doesn't have to be that. It has to be one cool, like one person who's considered cool in the
general sense.
Socially.
Yeah. In the popular sense.
Like The Rock.
Yeah, something like cool. That. Like The Rock has a guild. It has to be something like The Rock has a guild in MMO, and he's a raid leader, and he has a couple of more actors that participate in the guild, something like that. Equally as famous. You have like The Rock, Vin Diesel.
Even if it doesn't have more actors in the guild, it's just like he shows the game to other famous.
Yeah, exactly. So he has like Ellen DeGeneres and like in a show in the World of Warcraft. Like that. Yeah. His biggest hobby, and then he now has a famous guild where they raid every night, and yeah, something like that. Something like that.
So, but it has to be someone famous, like
it has to be something big
like
famous.
Tom
Cruise
and good looking, and
The Rock, Big Cruise, The Rock, Henry Cavill, like
yeah. Terry Crews.
Yeah, there you go.
I know. It's amazing.
That it would be so fun to have all that people in one MMO guild like pushing raid content. It will be and making it a show of pushing raid content.
That would be interesting. The thing that sadly, WoW is not a fun game to watch.
Yes. Even us that we consume WoW content, we do it more not because of it's fun to watch the actual game, but because it's entertaining to watch the person. And even even if we keep up with the race with the raid race, the first world raid race is difficult because it's not that entertaining to watch. Even if the host and everybody's doing the best effort to make it like entertaining to watch, is difficult to sell. That's the thing for the normal person who has like no idea what the game is, what is happening in the game. And even us, it's difficult for us even to gawk some of the idea what they are doing in the actual game.
Well, it's a very boring game to watch, even if you know what's going on.
And it's a very difficult game to read. It has a lot of things on it. So we need something like that, as you said, like a big celebrity promotion in like openly and because by his own volition promotion in the game. right?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
That's what we fix the problem of the cliche. And the same thing, and the same topic is like the barrier of entry of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, this comes from something that we talked before. That is definitely a problem and something to be criticized to all.
Yeah.
Is that even though we believe that the game does a good job at kind of teaching you how it works,
yeah,
still the barrier of entry to take part into not competitive content, but like
in-game content,
like
or
in-game content, it like still takes a lot of learning to, and then you have to be willing to put out the work and learning the stuff, and that drives away a lot of people.
Yeah, that legwork that you have to do. It's the same with all these complex games. It's the same with Magic, and their solution was to build Magic Arena, which has helped the game grow a lot because it's a virtual, very easy way to lower the barrier of entry. And for years and years, Magic has been working on that, lowering the barrier of entry, making their mechanics easy to understand, making the phases and all the intricacies of the game easy to understand, but the game fundamentally is still very complex, and that scares people, right? And the same thing happens with Magic, with World of Warcraft, right? They have been working to do a more friendly and quality of life, organic way to approach the game and give you slow steps and that sort of stuff. But in the core, the game is still complex and still scares people.
It does, and all of like all those things help.
Yeah.
But at some point, you'll encounter the brick wall.
Yeah.
That the actual mechanics of the game imposes to you.
Correct.
And that you have to learn how to like overcome that. So like the game will try to do as much as possible into the process, but at some point you have to go out and do your homework and say, okay, I have to learn how to
do this rotation.
Play the game.
Yeah, understand this time. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't know. For MMO, it's difficult because it's the same as a card game. It's fundamentally a complex stuff. You have a bunch of strategies, but there is a limit to how much you can dumb down or simplify the game without hurting the core of the game. I will say that, right? For Magic Arena works because they streamline and optimize a bunch of things that you have to learn if you want to play the paper version, right? So they compress a lot of knowledge that you have to have about the game in an electronic form. So all the thing about phases, all the thing about passing turn, passing priority, all that is automatic in a computer, so you don't have to put brain power on it, right? Which makes getting into a game much easier because you don't have to think about it, and it's presented to you, and it's automatic, and the game is doing the work for you. Yes, of course, if you have deep knowledge on the game, you know how to control those things manually because the digital version helps you do it. So, but translating that idea to World of Warcraft, I don't know how to simplify parts of the gameplay to be a little more understandable and workable for new players and not to have that part of the game occupy so much headspace when you're learning the game, right? I don't know. Like the only thing that I think about right now is like making automatic macros for stuff for new players. That would be the best idea that I can come up with, a parallel between Magic and that. Do part of the like offer automatic macros that the player can see what he's doing, and if they want to understand more, they eventually will move out from that. that will make the playing of the game much more easier in terms of how much headspace you have to think about it, right? And it still give control to a player if you want to slowly get detached to the macro, because that's what happened with me. Like I find a cool macro. My Fury Warrior, it was it was an easy class for me to understand, and then that liberated a bunch of headspace for me trying to get into the game and allow me to absorb more of the game and the coolest things and the lore and the experience and the people and that sort of stuff. And then after that, I start getting detached from the macro, modified, and understand more about my rotation and do a lot more things mechanically, because I understand I have the time and the investment to actually go down in those deep systems, right? So that's the only thing that I could think of to streamline that part of the WoW experience, right? To offer automatic macros to the new player in some shape, way, or form, or something like that.
I mean, that's what it's not in that sense, because definitely. How do I put this? Like, the problem is that I don't think macros are the solution for that, is because they can put people in a comfort zone where they don't see the need to leave.
Yeah.
That's my problem with that.
Okay.
I would say that they try to do it by, like with all the with all the like levels of difficulty that they have for the content. So for example, when you do normal dungeon,
yeah,
like usually you don't have to worry too much about out interrupts, because they do hurt, but they're not the end of the world.
Yeah,
if you miss an interrupt, if you miss a CC, for example.
Yeah.
If you as a tank, you don't know exactly how to kite the stuff around. It's the difficulty in itself is very forgiving, that you can go around without like actually doing the things the proper way. And the boss mechanics are super forgiving and not difficult.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So it gives you like you can successfully complete those pieces of content at that difficulty.
Yeah.
Kind of like focusing on like learning the basic stuff. Once you jump to heroic, then like some padding is more important. Some interrupts become more important. And then you have to pay attention to those things, for example. And then you go to mythic, then in this case CC is important. Like being able to do things like when doing keys, for example, it is important to be able to interrupt mobs that you are not focusing in your attacks.
Yeah.
That takes some skill to get used to. That doesn't matter that much in heroic, for example, but it's a skill. It's a very important skill to be successful in the harder pieces of the content.
Yes, correct.
So I feel like they try to do it. It's just that I don't know how successful that is.
What ideas do you think about this problem? What will you just suggest?
What would I suggest?
Yeah, simplifying the classes, doing the macro thingy.
The reason simplifying the classes is gonna sit very bad with the community.
I know. No. I'm just giving you examples. Like, what idea do you have about it?
You know how I used to play when I was in high school.
Yeah.
This all Japanese, I think Japanese or Korean or something MMO.
Yes.
And it used to work like with a combo system. And basically the skill, like the spells, the skills.
Yeah.
When they were shown to you, they will have like this. They will have the shape of a puzzle, so that you could put them like as puzzles in your action bar, and they will basically an indication of this goes after this, and then see this big attack.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to describe?
Yes. Yes. So it's like literally like shape as puzzle piece, and when you put in your action bar, they check with
and as
something
you were
else.
guiding them, like they will tell you, okay, now you have this too, and they will give you a prompt like separate these two and put this in the middle, or put this at the beginning, and they will have a special shape for the ones at the end and a special shape for the ones at the beginning.
And I see. Yeah.
Like once you get used to that, like you could like modify your combos the way that you want it. But it will give you like a basic idea, like it will ingrain in you the idea of that the whole mechanic of the game or
it's
of the combat
stuff
for that game
is doing a rotation.
This combo, it's doing a rotation.
Yeah.
So maybe something I don't know that may be too much, but like something that will like telegraph that idea to.
No. You're right on the money, because the most important thing for lowering this kind of barriers of entry is presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Not to scare away the person, right? Because if you present Magic the Gathering as like, oh yeah, look this card, you show him just like a little picture of a weird thing and then a wall of text that you have no idea what's happening, and then it does a lot of things, then people is gonna get scared, right? How do you present Magic? Oh, look at the pictures, and they fight. Woo! So presentation is important. So that would be an that would be, well, yeah, you're kind of right.
I'm kind of right.
Yeah. That would be a very didactic and interesting part of how to explain how.
It was. It has always, like that experience with that MMO at the time have always lived in my mind, because I thought it was
that.
It was like super didactic. It's like, oh, it's like puzzle pieces. I can play with them. I was so endearing when I was in high school.
But it makes absolutely sense. Like it gives you a clear picture of what you're doing with the class, what has relation with what, without having to read anything. Right? Yeah. It's just didactic and absolutely visually satisfying to match puzzle pieces in your bar, and then you see how to interact with the flashing stuff, and you can play with them, right? And you can put in different orders or whatever depending on what happens. And that will give you a more clear picture of how the class actually works.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree.
Maybe something around those lines.
That's one of the reasons when you start in World of Warcraft and you check, there is kind of the community is trying to help in this sense, but for these things, lowering the bar of entrance to work really, it has to come from Blizzard, because of course the community has shapes, have ways of helping you with this if you're a new player. You have add-ons like Hellkey and a couple of others which show you your rotations and in interesting ways, like pop up in the screen, and they show you where is the order, and automatically it goes when you're going to battle, right? There is add-ons for this, right? For something similar to what you're saying, right? That help you understand what it will be the rotation of the thing. But definitely the game will benefit from a more didactic and like, what is the word I'm looking for? More, it's not visceral. It's like the sensation of feeding puzzle pieces. It's more, I don't know what is the word I'm looking for. I'm looking for a specific word to describe that feeling. Oh my god!
But it's very satisfying.
Yes.
I know what you mean. Like that sensation of like it fits together. It's like
and you understand why it fits together, because you're like, oh, this fits together, and then you go and check the text and like, now I know what it fits together. And like even if you're in the middle of the action and then you get a new power and it will fit into the puzzle that you're doing, and you're like, this is a complement of this, without having to read a single word of your kit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be flashy. I agree with your idea. I like it. I like your idea. Yeah. But that's the vein of what I'm saying, of like making automatic this kind of understanding systems.
It is.
Right?
It is making it more automatic, but it's just kind of
so liberating your
also putting it like in the face of the player, so they see.
Yeah, my macro idea is too permeable. Is too behind it, right?
It's just that if you hide too much, like you can hide a lot of stuff in a macro.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
If you hide too much, then it's just like it's a black box that you don't have to open.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
You know.
You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe something more didactic.
Yeah, I agree. I like your idea. That's a cool thing. Like they kind of do it in Final Fantasy 14 in some shape.
They kind of do it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I have never seen one as extreme as the one that I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of do it in 14 when they explain you. All right, we actually have a combo system, and this goes after this. Yes. And the game tells you, and this proc after this, and blah blah blah. And then you have instants and that sort of stuff. So in Final Fantasy 14, they kind of do it like that way, but not as didactic as we were talking here, right? And
yeah, we're talking about something very, very,
very
in your face.
Yeah.
Match the shapes, kind of.
Yes. And in Elder Scrolls, you don't have much interaction between things beyond buffing and debuffing stuff. So that in Elder Scrolls Online, they don't have that problem because they don't operate in a combo system of trigger system. They just have abilities, they do stuff, and they debuff or above. So they're sidestepping all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And their abilities are flashy enough, which you don't care if they proc or not.
It is a different approach.
Yeah, correct.
And
so,
that's again just one of those things that shows the age of WoW.
Yes.
WoW came from the age of. WoW was the game that was making MMOs simpler. So EverQuest and RuneScape.
Yeah.
They're like real brick walls of like.
Yes, absolutely.
All the time was easy.
Can you imagine that? Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever played EverQuest?
No, but I played RuneScape, and yes, you're right.
WoW was the easy option.
Yes.
Because it had colors and
it has color and flash.
Text.
And they were saying like, what World of Warcraft didn't used to have like trigger feedback of flashing of abilities. No. They didn't used to have that. Apparently they bring that in. The ones before that, it was always add-ons made by the community that did that. But apparently the trigger and the stuff came in what?
Yep, yeah, that's a very recent addition.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, okay, that makes it even more obscure. What you're doing.
But those are the things, like the highlighting thing that helps. Like maybe more of those things in that vein of being more visual and
more visual feedback and direct stuff to people. Yeah. Free more headspace, so they invest more in your game. Basically, but I like the puzzle idea. I really like it. That's a cool game. Do you remember a Korean in those times? Everybody wants to be the new World of Warcraft, so the MMO market exploded, especially on the Asian and Chinese side, and everybody wants to be the next World of Warcraft. And they did a lot of Korean and Japanese based games with a lot of interesting ideas.
They always have a lot of. They're not tainted by the Western MMO, RPG, WoW,
cliche,
RuneScape, EverQuest.
Yeah.
They do their own crazy thing, and the puzzle thing is just insane.
Yeah. They always have the good ideas. There's some that are prevail because of that philosophy of trying their own thing, and it makes the game more a better place for it.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. All right. So that's about the lowering the bar, which is a good idea. Just making that part of the game more simple, which is one of the reasons that the game is difficult to learn, is all the intricacies of your class and that sort of stuff, and the difficult way to learn those intricacies. And so be more direct, more didactic, more nice. Yeah. So you're asking here if the social dependency of the World of Warcraft drives away players. It's been the core, and it's a difficult thing that you bring up, because it's been the core of the reason of why we play World of Warcraft for a long time. That you are forced to interact with people. But your question is right. Does that detract players from it?
And I'm pretty sure it does for some people.
Yeah, not everybody wants to deal with people.
Yeah, because I mean,
especially when you're gaming, right? You want your quiet time, you want your relaxed time, and sometimes you just need a more calm, or alone, or not interact, or like not people interactive with. Because imagine if you're like, I don't know, if you're a person who works all the time, like dealing with people, and then you go to your favorite game, you have to deal with more people because of the social necessity of World of Warcraft. You indubitably will have drama. You indubitably have toxicity. You cannot avoid it in some shape or form. Especially if you're gonna engage with some parts of the end game of the game, you cannot avoid it at all. But I will argue that they have tried to make it easier for people to not depend of that much of social interaction.
They definitely have, and they try to keep the game in a healthy enough position.
Yeah.
So that you can somehow get away with it. The thing is, and I think we experienced this together.
Yeah.
When you started playing, I told you that we should look for a guild.
Correct. Yeah.
And you told me, look for one.
Yeah, I closed my eyes and tell Lucho, go look for one.
Yeah, and I get it, because it is scary to just get to a new group of people that you don't know, that you have never talked to, and start being like, here I am.
Yeah.
Doing stuff.
What up?
What's going on?
Yeah.
It is scary, but
yes.
And we're lucky that we came across a group of people that has the same.
Absolutely lucky. Even for me, when I tell Lucho, I remember I tell Lucho, just look for a guild. You can do it. I trust you. Basically, is what I tell him. When we started like getting there, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's and I can see how that can be nerve-wracking for a lot of people, like trying to find, because like if you find a group of people who share your goals and like the intensity that you want to play the game at,
it's fantastic.
It's an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I promise that finding that group can be hit or miss a lot of the time.
Yes.
And it's very hard. That's why I'm saying that we were just lucky.
We're insanely lucky. I will say at this point, we're very, very lucky. Yeah.
So I don't know. It is in general not as bad as you think, because the game is so big that there are groups of people doing pretty much anything that you imagine. So if you look hard enough, you'll find a community to be part of.
Yeah.
No matter what you're trying to in the game.
Yeah.
But it may not be easy. And the game tries to give the players a lot of tools
to do
so they can not only do it, but also like they definitely want to just stay alone, that they can enjoy the game on their own.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a different experience than being part of like an active guild.
Yeah.
But it can be done. So, but I don't know, like it's definitely a social dependency. WoW was baked like on the core of the game.
Yeah.
There is nothing more central to WoW than social dependency. You can remove and change the classes and the spells and the rotations, but the game is built around social dependency.
Absolutely. No, it was the revelation of WoW. It was the big selling point.
It was. WoW was the social network before social networks.
Correct. Yeah, before Facebook and Warcraft existed. Yes, correct. Yeah.
And it still is for a lot of people. The way that they like construct a social group.
Yeah.
And it has been for me. I told you this before. Like, I'm not as active as any other Discord server that in our guilds. server.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I've never been that type of person.
Correct. Yeah, never.
I'm not active in any social media.
Yeah. And he's super active in the Discord.
Because all these people who I share.
Yeah, and now he's like raid leader and a bunch of stuff that I was like, Lucho, really?
I know.
Dealing with people.
Dealing with people. But it's because it's people who have all the same mentality of the game.
Yes.
So it's, I don't know, it's a good thing. The problem is that the social dependency is a good thing. You find your group of people, and it's an awful thing, you don't. And there is no in-between step for that.
Yeah. I don't know how much to tell you.
That's the problem with that.
I fundamental thinking about. I think they do the enough. Again, it's a problem of like something that is ingrained in the core of the game is very difficult to change or remove without changing the fundamental of the game. The best thing that you can do is ease the approach to it, right? And I feel like World of Warcraft has done a good job on easing the approach to it. You have looking for raid, you have bugs, you have social tools for you to find the correct community. You're not getting penalized from changing guilds. You can go and pug anything automatically or not automatically in the game. And the majority of the content you can just search for a group, right? In that sense, they've done a good job of easing the people into those social interactions. To be automatic, to be as softer as possible, etc., etc. I don't know if you can do anything else extra to help that, right? Because it's core and part of the game it's the interesting part of the game. Like, I don't do raids because they're the best raids in the world. I do raids because the puzzle of arguing with people and figuring out shit is the fun part. Even if I, like I was telling you yesterday, I feel like I was doing nothing on the raid, or like I still show up and do the thing. Because my joy doesn't come from directly the content itself, but more about the group of people trying to do a thing, right?
I mean, the content was designed to do with people.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm telling you. Like, trying to fix this is nearly impossible without changing the nature of what Warcraft is selling. So I don't know what else can you do to softer the people to get there.
Even if there is not much that you can do, it is still
a problem.
Part of the game to be criticized.
For people, yes, it's still a thing.
Do we have a solution for that? No, probably not, because again, it is just core to a game.
I don't know.
What the game is.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a solution for this.
Changing that, or changing or quote-unquote solving that, it changes the game at a fundamental level, which I don't think is anyone's idea.
Yeah.
I think they have taken all the steps that they can to ease people into it. Like for example, a great addition for that was the communities that they added in VFA.
Correct, yeah.
Which are not guilds, are just like
communities,
communities of people that just get together to a specific stuff.
Yeah.
And that helps, again, those solo players that maybe feel that they haven't found a guild, or that they don't want to join the guild, or whatever thing.
Yeah.
To still find people that they can do the content that they want with. And all those little tools help a lot.
Yeah.
Can you more than that without changing what the game is? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's definitely a point of criticism for them.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is gonna enjoy it.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know if there is a solution for this without. It's part of the game, I think. It is not. Yeah, it's part of the game. It's not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing. It's just part of it.
It is part of it, and it discourages people from enjoying.
Yeah, absolutely discourages people.
From thinking part of the game.
But it's the nature of the game, I'll say. Alright. Well, let's close by doing the comment about the warlike schedule, the end game.
Yep.
It's a turn on for some people. Yeah, they're diminishing a little bit right now.
Not really.
Yeah, you always have like that. But isn't that part of all the MMOs and that sort of stuff? You have to do chores in the game to advance or progress or whatever. There's a discussion about there, yeah.
But there's still people who aren't like that.
Yep, because they want to do whatever they want at their own pace.
And like it or not, like agree or disagree with it.
Yeah.
Like the power progression of the game
is tied to that.
It's tied around keeping on top.
Yeah, you have to do, especially with the
to-do list.
Especially with the vault system now, you have to go do the renown. You have to do X amount of content, so you can have some options on your vault, whatever your time gives for doing that. And you have to advance your renown. You have to go down and do the weekly quest that gives you gear and progression, and etc. etc. You have a bunch of to-do lists to keep up in the game, week by week.
Yeah, and day by day.
Yes.
It is like it feels different to EFA because now it's less
punishing.
It's less punishing, but there it is still there, and like the inclusion of the Grey Vault was you didn't feel like you had to certain stuff, like you had more freedom in the stuff that you can do, and still get rewards at the end of the week.
Correct. Yeah.
But this is still a list of
things to do.
Up to it's a huge to-do list. Every week you have to gather this much stuff and go and kill this many stuff and go and do this many dungeons, and it is to just go do, and you have to keep doing those things to stay on top of the power progression of the game.
Yeah.
And if you fell behind, even though there are
catch-up systems and
there are catch-up mechanics and in a lot of these things, you're still gonna fall behind.
Yeah.
So the game is encouraging you. The game does encourage you to log in week after week and day after day and keep on top of your work list. And does that work for me? Yeah, because I like the task list kind of to check out.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't, and they feel trapped because.
Oh no! Woe is work now.
It has, and if we were in a mythic raiding guild, in a hardcore raiding guild,
it will be work.
It will be work. Like you have to do these things, and you have to do these many things, and you have to get this point by this moment.
Yeah, it will be actual work.
And even though we're not in that situation, it is still like we still want to keep on top of like the general power progression. We still look forward to all these tasks week by week.
Yeah,
and that's not for everyone. Like that's for example one of the main things that drive away people. Like the people who enjoy vanilla, who thought that was the best time in the game. That drives away those type of players from Modern WoW, from retail, because it just like in vanilla game used to you just finish some quest and then you just go and do whatever the frick you want.
Go run mobs, you go and explore stuff, you go whatever. Yeah.
do whatever. There is no reason to do or not do anything that you want.
Yeah, correct.
Well, Modern WoW is very, very task oriented. You just have to do these things, and that's not for everyone. Yeah,
that is true.
And
even for me, I've been like falling a little bit behind with Torghast because it's an activity that for my spec in class is hellly punished to do, so I've been not doing it.
I mean, the game does a good job at that. Even if you fall behind a little bit, it's not super punishing.
Yeah. So, but do you want more catch-up system or more ease on this kind of things?
I don't think I don't think no matter how easy is it to catch up.
Yeah.
Like okay, let's say you have a ton of catch up.
Yeah.
You go and are caught up at the current point.
Yeah.
The problem is still there because next week you have to do all the things to stay on top. Like catching up doesn't solve the problem that you have to do.
So what will be the solution here?
Oh, I don't think there is a solution for this. I think
it's just like it is what it is. Just work for WoW. Just pay for work. You're paying for a game giving you work, basically.
I mean, some people do enjoy playing games based on a task list. Some people don't.
Yes.
And that's the direction that the game took a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people feel like retail WoW is not for them.
Yes, correct.
And that the best days of WoW were vanilla and Burning Crusade WoW. Because it was least it was not a job.
Yeah.
As it is now.
Yeah.
Can we solve this without changing what the current game is fundamentally? I don't think so. But is it something to criticize about the game? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Those are different things. It is, and this is this as a social dependency is one of the things that shape the current landscape of WoW.
Yeah.
And if you kind of disagree with those, it's gonna be a hard sell for you to get into the game.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree with
you. Is it reducing its target audience? Yeah, sure, because not everyone is down for this thing.
Yeah.
In that sense, it is a weak point. It's something that needs and should be criticized.
Yeah.
But it's basically a decision that the developers made about how they want the players to play the game.
Basically,
what's the game to be played? And the game to be played is weekly task that you need to complete to stay on top of the power progression and the power curve of the game.
Correct.
You are either in for that or not.
Yeah.
And that, for example, is like no matter what they do, that's something that it's baked in the current expansion.
Yep.
That's not gonna change for the foreseeable 2 years.
Yeah, correct.
And I'm very sure that the overall direction of the game is not changing because it's been like that since
forever.
Since Ragnarok, at least.
Yeah.
That's just the direction that the game got moved into. So is there a solve for that? Yeah, change the game, like make the game something different. Is that a good solution? Is that a good answer? I don't know, but it's definitely a downside of the game.
Yeah, correct.
That sometimes it can feel like
part of it. Yeah. Well, that's the end of our deep dive. Very interesting points. Very interesting game.
Yes, and the shortcomings of the game are very interesting too.
And because they're very clear and they're part of the identity of the game, and that's the most interesting. So hopefully the game will continue to get better because, in my opinion, the game is trying to get better.
Oh, it's definitely trying.
Yeah.
Like it is just about if do your preferences align with the direction that the game is taking or not?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a hardcore way of putting it because if they don't, then you're just not gonna enjoy the game, and that's sad.
Yeah, and as in everything, please don't be fooled by the cliche. Try the game, see if you like it, see if you have friends who play the game and don't tell you, because maybe they're ashamed from the cliche. They say, "Oh, you're playing more Warcraft? Oh no!"
What a neckbeard.
Yeah. I mean, we do have beers. Try the game. We encourage you to try the game. The game is fantastic. It has
at least try it.
At least try, see if you like it. As everything in the world. You cannot say that you don't like a thing till you don't try it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now we move to our audience questions and feedback. Don't forget that you can contact us in any of our social media platforms, that is emails, Twitters, Twitch channels, direct messages, smoke signals, and any shape, way, or form that you consider a good way to express your idea to us. If you're watching us on YouTube, you always have the beautiful, beautiful comment section down below. It's open for you. We won't judge you. Unless you're a bot promoting thing, and then if you're a bot promoting random stuff, we will judge you. But beyond that, we're open to any kind of criticisms, opinions, and anything that you wanted to tell us.
Yes, we are.
So, our first question of this week is: How do WoW relate the story when using characters that have no emotional connection to some players?
They don't, and that's the
Yeah,
problem.
that was exactly the question. They do not. It's part of the problem. We're discussing this episode.
That's one of the problems. They don't.
Yeah.
And then, and it's sometimes hard to care if you have never spent time with the character.
Correct.
That's, for example, something that works really well in 14.
Yes,
Since
absolutely.
you have to replay a lot of the story, you get involved with the characters and you care about them a lot.
You get attached, you cry when they die and bad things happen to them and you suffer and
Yeah.
As
intended, and since WoW does a really poor job at generating.
I think the most relatable character that I can think of is Alduin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's like a super prominent, like you cannot dodge to be super prominent figure that he's the king and blah blah blah. And he's super involved in everything.
He's center and front. Like,
Yeah.
he's in your face.
In your face. And I think that's the only reason when you end up caring for the dude.
For us, probably. But,
Yeah.
but he's been around since forever. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the people who have been playing around with Anduin, like, been around the game, like seeing Anduin and experiencing more things with him,
Yeah.
have a different type of attachment.
Yeah.
But for some of us who came later to the game,
Yeah.
just sure,
yeah.
try and do it.
Yeah. He looks like almost Leonardo DiCaprio, but not quite.
Yeah. Beautiful Leonardo DiCaprio, try and do it.
Yeah.
That's what he is to some of us.
And he has the light, the cry, the power. I cry, and then a light of dome appears. Right?
Yeah, very much. So I don't know. It doesn't, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
That's a big problem for some of the stories that they were trying to tell.
Absolutely. And our next question is: What is your favorite piece of WoW lore?
Oh, mine is clear. Mine is a meme in our guild.
He's a Jaina simp.
but I really like Jaina's story, and I have like Jaina's stories since Warcraft.
He's a Jaina simp.
I am, but I have always loved her stories since I played Warcraft 3 when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I thought her story was really cool. The whole betraying her father and then the whole bombing Theramore. It's such a tragic story. It's so good. And the whole redemption story in BFA and she becoming Lord Admiral. It was so cool. I love it. I love Jaina's story.
That's for Lucho.
Yeah, I love it. It's a story charged of like tragedy.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like if you look at the whole story life of Jaina, it's kind of the classic Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
Or just like bad things keep happening to her, bad shit.
Yeah.
And it's just everything worse and worse, and you're just looking for that moment of redemption.
Yeah.
To me, she's a classic Greek hero. That's why I like her
Cool.
so much.
I don't know for me what it is. Like, I like the cosmic conflict, the overall story cosmic conflict. I find it super interesting with the Titans and the Titans' tomb and the imprisonment of the Void Lords. I like that side of the story.
Fair.
But like that's an overall piece of story. But I really like the story of the Worgen clan that they were expelled from the Dryads. I really like that side.
That piece of story is really cool. When you play through the Worgen campaign. It's really really nice, and the whole atmosphere of Vilnius, it's super nice. I agree with you.
I really love it.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So that'll be my answer. Like the overall cosmic story of World of Warcraft, I find is super interesting. But
I like the cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
My problem is that it's okay with me. The problem is that I enjoy more the personal stories.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's why I like Jaina so much. Because she's been developed like as a character for decades.
For a lot of time, yeah.
And I love that.
She's now an old woman, if you can say that.
She's not.
She's not? How old is Jaina?
She's like in her late 30s or something.
Man. Yeah, you have this weird story time because really the happenings on World of Warcraft are not that long compared with the time that the game has been out.
No, she's in her late 30s.
So you have this weird disconnection about like, Jaina when she was in their 20s in World of Warcraft 3 and it's been 20 years, so she should be like 40 at this point, but really in the game she's not that old.
No, she's like mid-30s at much.
Yeah.
She's not an old lady by any stretch of the word.
But you feel
just
because
a woman.
You feel because of internet years and time passing.
She's just a grown-up woman.
Yeah. All right. That's all for this episode. But before we go, we have a little announcement to do. We won the lottery, and we're not gonna do this show anymore.
I wish.
I know. We wish. No, even if we won the lottery, we still do this show.
Oh yeah, I mean, we still don't make any money out of this.
Yeah. We are going into a hiatus for 2 weeks. We're gonna take a little bit of break of doing the content, and in general, we are taking a break from everything, social stuff. Probably World of Warcraft not that much because we're gonna be in our homes for the majority part of these holidays.
Because
but for the rest,
we are still quarantined where we live at.
Yeah, exactly. We're still in quarantine.
We're not going anywhere.
So we're not gonna travel anything. My max travel is I'm gonna go to a friend's house and that's it.
Yeah.
And when I go to a friend's house, it's just with my friend, and that's it.
That works.
Yeah.
Just to make it clear, like this episode will come out on the 24th of December. So happy Christmas
to everybody.
Christmas
or whatever holiday you celebrate on this date.
and we'll be back on January 14th.
Correct. With more podcast episodes. Don't worry about it. We'll be right back. So we're gonna take this small hiatus, stretch our legs, freshen our minds.
Yep.
And everybody needs a break. Even you, if you're listening to us, please take a break in this holiday season, at least a weekend. Don't burn yourself. There are difficult times. We all need a break from everything.
A tiny little bit at least.
Yeah. So that's our small announcement. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere. If you're missing us in these days, you still have a lot more content that you can listen for us. Everything is relevant for the majority in the podcast. And if you are listening us in one of the podcast platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, not all the library is there, but if you go to YouTube, London Gamer, on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, you can find all the episodes from episode number 1 till now. So you can go and enjoy our reviews of Destiny, Diablo 3, Borderlands, Monster Hunter World. Am I missing any?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. In all the content in between. So yeah, go and check that out. Thank you for coming, and that is it for this episode of the year. Last episode this year.
Last episode. That's all for this week's episode. For this year's episode.
Yeah.
As well. Once again, thanks for tuning into Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at LuzioPolanco.
And I am the Lonely Gamer. You can find me on Twitter at the Lonely Gamer and Twitch on twitch.tv/Lonely Gamer, where I sometimes stream, and I hope to be better next year. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, click the notification bell, click the subscribe button, do everything social, share it with everybody, like it and put stars if you're listening in one of your listening devices, recommend it to your friends, tell it to your dog, scream into the wind, say it in your happy Christmas wishes. You can, I don't know, give us from Christmas a recommendation to some of your friends, cool small talk if you're gonna go past this holiday season with a relative, even in virtual form or not. Please stay safe, people. Do everything. We appreciate everything that you do, even if as simple as tuning to us every week. We love you all. Thank you for all the supporting this year. Hopefully you will have a better year next year. We wish you everything good for you to come. We love you a lot from the team here in the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know that I forgot to put a fun fact on Milkshake? Even if I open the actual page, look at my fun fact and say, I'm gonna put this is super cool, and then I didn't paste it out into the script.
I knew it.
And it was something about like who discovered the milkshake, and it was just an experiment for a dude who was trying to bake ice cream. And yes. I don't know what else to tell you.
But I do have my fun fact. And a surefire cure for hangovers is to drink a banana milkshake sweeten it with honey.
Jesus.
It helps soothe your stomach. Plus, it builds up your depleted blood sugar levels and electrolytes, such as magnesium and potassium. And it will take 3,200,000 our-sized milkshakes to fill up an Olympic Cup pool.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine all that milk and ice cream in a pool?
You,
yeah, I know. To drink at some point. Hey, milkshake for a hangover cure is very interesting. Isn't that not a lot of sugar? Will you drink that?
Not if I'm hungover.
I know, right? It doesn't sound like something that you want to drink when you're hangover.
Maybe it works. I know that bananas are really good with your hangover because of that reason, because of the potassium.
Yes, that is.
Would I eat it in a milkshake? I don't know. But I know that bananas help a lot to bring up your the electrolyte levels in your body.
Yeah.
Actually, all the